got to start with your last fight because it's been a while since we've seen you, but just relive a little bit of that. I mean, it became a legendary moment, but give me your emotions and your thoughts about how everything ended in the last fight.
If anyone doesn't know, it got stopped because I had cauliflower ear and one of my opponent's punches landed on my ear and then sent up a little fountain of blood. And I was able to fight for a little bit longer before the ref, Herb Dean, finally stopped the fight. And I was pissed. I was really pissed. It was in Mexico, so I was yelling to the crowd. I was like, no me duele. I was like, it doesn't hurt. I was like, I have my eyes and my hands. I can fight, all in Spanish. So I was really mad. And even at this point, I would still trade my ear for the chance to finish the fight. Just that round. I think I could have finished during that round.
Yeah.
But I understand why they had to do it. I understand it's protecting interests and things like that. And I think that the best thing about it, the bright side of the whole thing, is that now when I get my rematch, we're going to have way more eyes on us.
That's fun.
To watch me.
It's funny that you say they have to protect their interests. The fighter is what I thought you were going to say. Maybe it was more of just a visual thing. Do you think it was a woman thing, or do you think it was just blood in Mexico and TV, or?
Well, I'm not the very first fighter that's ever happened to. Like Sakuraba, his whole ear was coming off, and he got to finish, I think. But whatever. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I'm gonna assume that it wasn't about being a female because I've been treated awesome ever since I've gotten to the UFC and taken seriously, and I appreciate that, so I'm not going to go digging things up that don't need to be there. But I do know that it's a bloody thing, it's a gruesome thing, that for people who don't know about fighting and the fact that you don't really need your ears to win a fight, maybe I can see how, as far as public opinion goes, it was a good stoppage, and who wants to get blamed for someone losing an ear? So I can see why they would do that. As far as protecting the fighter, I mean, I would have been fine. Like I said, I'd trade my ear right now for a chance, just to finish that round even. But things went the way they did, and the bright side is that next time when we fight, we're going to have way more people watching.
So the rematch is definitely on your agenda.
It's exactly.
All right. Well, that was a long time ago. It was, I think, November 2014, so...
Yeah.
Update us. Why has it been so long since we've seen you?
You know, the ear was actually fine really quickly. I had knee surgery back in April. The super basic cleaning up a meniscus surgery. And so it just took me a little while to come back from that. And then I've been training really hard. And I actually have been asking for fights for a while. I've been asking for fights for months. I didn't know if it was maybe because when Nick Diaz got his suspension, I was like, I'm not going to fight in Las Vegas because of that. However, I did go through the proper avenues, I felt like. Like, I called the UFC first, and I was like, are there still going to be fights for me if I say this? And, I felt like so I don't know if I was on the shelf because of that or anything like that. Again, I'm not going to go digging something up. I'm going to assume that it was just because they were waiting for the perfect fight for me, and I think this is it.
Well, let's talk about this fight. Rin Nakai, interesting character. What do you make of her kind of overall persona and of her as a fighter?
You know, what matters to me is how someone is inside the cage, and I've gotten to watch a lot of that. And then I saw her just now, and I bowed my head respectfully, and then she stopped and did a real bow, and I was like, well, shit, does that one up me? Okay, and then I did a little bit better of a bow, and...
Next thing you know, you're just bowing back and forth.
But no, I mean, I have respect for anybody who steps in the cage, and I know that there's a lot of people who are highly amused by a lot of the different videos that she puts out there, but, I mean, I don't know how that's any different than, like, Felice Herrig's Instagram account, so, like, you know, and that's not putting either one of them down. Hold on, before anybody goes up in arms, it's not putting anyone down. That's just saying that people got to promote themselves. And when you find your niche, you find your niche. And if you're comfortable, you're comfortable. The biggest thing is owning it. So, I mean, I like to garden, but pictures of me and my cauliflower isn't quite as, like, popular on the internet. Maybe I should work on that. But if she's got her thing, she's got her thing.
That's funny. It kind of, I saw your conversation that you had with Aljamain Sterling the other day on Twitter, and I was pretty intrigued by it, and just kind of what you said made me think about it. I mean, do you think that's something that women fighters are still facing, like sexism that maybe people don't even realize is sexism?
Dude, it's institutional sexism. Look, here's people. I have to correct people sometimes, and I used to be really gentle about it, but they'd be like, "Good girl," after I was training, and I'm like, "What did you just say to me?" And they're like, "Oh, I say that to my daughters all the time." But look, the thing about calling someone a girl as opposed to a woman, first off, if you call a man, you walk up to him and say boy, you're starting a fight. Why? Because girls and boys, unlike men and women, are immature, they need guidance, they're inexperienced, they're not accomplished. And so calling someone a girl, even announcers do it. And I know that they're not trying to do it. They're saying amazing things. They're like, man, these girl fights are awesome and these girls really bring it. And they're saying such nice things. But it's going to take a lot of awareness. And a lot of people, a lot of people get really sensitive when you call them out on that. And I don't call people out on that to be a big jerk or to be like, you need to bow down to me because I'm a woman and screw the patriarchy. It's not about that. Feminism is about, and I'm a big feminist. Feminist, it's about equality. And so the thing about Aljamain Sterling that we got into on Twitter was he's trying to start a fight. Cool. He wants to start one with Brian Caraway. I like Brian Caraway a lot. He's a good friend of mine. Whatever, though, I see things starting a fight. But how he tried to start it is he's trying to emasculate him, which the definition is to make someone feel weak or small or like less than by adding him to a poster of a bunch of females for National Women's Day. And I was like, dude, that's insulting. And he's like, no, it's just a joke. Not to put words in his mouth, because I'm not remembering verbatim anything that he said. But at the bottom line, if you're using a description of another person, their identity as an insult, you're trying to drag them down, whether it's a socially acceptable joke or not. And that's something that's institutionalized. I mean, just think about it. When you call someone a bitch, like, you're saying you're a female. You're worse. When you hit like a girl, when you're a pussy, like, those are all things that are institutionalized that we all accept commonly as equating female identities with being subpar. And so I feel like as a fighter, I feel like all of us as fighters that we're doing a great thing in standing up, but I feel like it's really the supporters who make the biggest difference in that. Because it's the supporters who think that they're being so supportive and so wonderful. They're like, man, I've never, you sure hit hard for a girl. Or like, wow, you're toughest girl I've ever seen. Like that kind of thing. And I get it, it's coming from a wonderful place. But with a little reflection, maybe we can see how we can open up different terms and just not keep reinforcing the beliefs that women are subpart of men.
Yeah, no, I think it's an interesting discussion. What do you think about, you mentioned like Felice Herrig's Instagram. There are women fighters who use their sexuality to help market themselves. Uh-huh. Do you think, does that fall in line that it's okay? Whatever you got to do to get noticed, or do you feel like, because I don't feel like, I don't know, maybe guys do use their sexuality, but I don't feel like it's put up front or whatever, like sometimes the way it is with women. Do you think that's a wrong way to go down, a bad way to market yourself?
Hey, any way that someone wants to go, if it brings them success, go for it. This would be the appropriate time to say, you go girl, except for I don't use lines like that because I don't call grown women girls. But anything that someone can do, as long as they can own it, more power to them. Way to go. Like, definitely, I know when I dress up and I've got my makeup on and like showing a bunch of skin and I have heels that I get more attention and I don't do that. Maybe I'm a little bit scared of the attention of wielding it like that. But that doesn't mean that I'm down on anybody else doing it. And the more of a spotlight that they can get to deliver a strong message and I like strong messages, but at the end of the day, it's about enjoying yourself and being who you are. And if that's how they want to be, then that's wonderful, and I'm not going to be down on anybody for that. ever.
Nice. Talk about fighting in Australia. A lot different than States, Canada, Mexico. You've made a couple trips, but this is I think the furthest you've gone for a fight. So how's it been? Kind of adjusting, getting used to the long travel to get here, the time change, fighting in the morning. What's this fight week been like for you?
It's been awesome. I'm so excited to be here. Riding the plane to come here. Okay, riding the plane to come here, I was like, dude, I'm going to Australia. And then for a second, I was like, I get to see Bert. And then I was like, no, I don't. But then I went back to remembering that I was in Australia, and I'll send him a tweet later.
Nice.
But it's really exciting to be here. I mean, one of my goals in life has always been to see as many different places as I can. And traveling is wonderful, but getting to travel as a martial artist is even more amazing. Because to be able to walk into a city like this and to go to some different gyms and go in there and find people, and there's a sense of camaraderie and respect, and to instantly be surrounded by people who are hardworking and they're motivated and welcoming. It's a wonderful thing. It's a super nice thing. So it's really cool to be out here in Australia. I was calling it Brisbane for a while, but that's wrong. It's Brisbane.
Nice.
Thanks. The time adjustment, like I said, hasn't been that bad. I've been waking up super early, like 5:30 in the morning, so that I can be up and ready to go. I'm gonna have to get up for my weight cut, because we're doing the weigh-ins are gonna be at like 8 o'clock in the morning here, which is cool. Like we said, I'm happy about that, early morning weigh-ins, and the food has been nice, and I love the weather, and I hear there's a koala farm where I can go hold a baby koala bear.
So you gonna do that after the fight?
Yes, totally.
Nice. How much inspiration do you take from Nate Diaz's win? That I gotta imagine that was big for you.
It was awesome. It was huge. You know, it was great to watch, obviously, someone on your team go out and do their thing, and even if you're not on his team, it's great to watch Nate Diaz go out and do his thing. You know, it's motivational. And so for me to have the combination of both, you know, I just to be able to watch him and see him and following everything along so closely. I was like, I have a fight. I'm not going to go to Las Vegas. I'm just going to stay here. But I was watching everything on social media, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to stay off Facebook for a while. I'm just going to be happy. Okay, what is it? What now? And then I was like, okay, I got to go. I bought a ticket at like 2 o'clock in the morning the night before the fights, and got there a couple hours early. And I was so happy to be there. It was huge. It was wonderful to get to see everybody. And you know what was really cool is all the Irish fans afterward were respectful and nice. All of them were like, hey, we want a picture. I mean, some of them were a little bit excessive with their we want a picture, but that's okay. Like, it was a cool thing that after the fight, like, everyone was like, respect. Like, it was nice because a lot of times when the scrap pack goes places and there's fights, and then after the fights, there's things that happen because people don't have respect. And so it was really nice that everybody, they just wanted to see him, the new champ.
Very cool. It has been so long since we've seen you, so what are we going to see? Are we going to see something different? I mean, in this year that you've been off, have you made significant changes, improvements anywhere? Do you think we're going to see something different? What are we going to see?
Yeah, you're definitely going to see an evolved me. I think that's what every single fighter says. But the things that I've been really focusing on a whole lot are being really controlled. I've always had aggression down. I'm good and aggressive inside the cage, and so a big deal for me has been making sure that I'm using it laser-like with precision and accuracy and controlling it so that I can just direct all my power into where I want to direct it. So I forgot to mention that the other thing that was really excited about Nate's fight was Miesha Tate's fight. That was freaking awesome. It was so exciting. The whole night was really good.